Today we're going to be looking at Gundam Universe MS-06S Char's Zaku 2. So what Gundam Universe is, it's a line by Bandai and Tamashii Nations. This is a line of action figures and not model kits, so I would not consider this to be Gunpla. These are 6-inch figures, so they're very comparable to Marvel Legends and Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Let's take a look at the box real quick. This is offering us some points for the Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2 game, which I've never played before, but it's there. Maybe I'll give it a shot. So we have some really cool artwork of the Zaku 2. It's shooting its gun, and it has a bunch of battle damage on it, which is not what the figure has. So that's kind of a weird choice, but it is a cool looking piece of art there. Of course, we have the Tamashii Nations symbol of quality. Tamashii Nations, Bandai, and it's illustrated by LAYUP, so Layup. It's designed by Tamashii Nations in Japan, and Bandai Spirits is made in Vietnam. So yeah, product may vary from photo, no duh. So here is the other side of the packaging, and it just has the Zaku 2 on the bottom. It says GU, so that would be for Gundam Universe, and this is number 12 in the series. Looking at the back of the package, we do have a little blurb on top and on bottom. So the blurb says, beginning in 1979, the universe of Gundam spans over 4 decades. With many diverse tales of war in space and on Earth fought with giant robotic weapons called mobile suits. Gundam Universe commemorates the history with 6-inch scale articulated action figures. Below that it says action and articulation, and in Japanese it reads the same thing. It shows some articulation, and then it says GU12 Mobile Suit Gundam. So that's the series it comes from. And this is the MS-06S Char's Zaku 2. Below that we have some more info. From Mobile Suit Gundam, 1979. Famed machine of Zeon Ace pilot Char Aznable. A command unit supporting a distinctive red and pink scheme. Char's personal colors. Equipped with a Zaku machine gun, Zaku bazooka, and Heat Hawk, it is particularly adept at close combat when a skilled pilot is at the controls. Said to be 3 times faster than a normal Zaku, it is nicknamed the Red Comet by the Federation forces. And then of course we have all the
legal mumbo jumbo.
Then we show Sandrock and the Victory Gundam, which are available at the same time as this one. And of course you can find out more by scanning the QR code. Well, let's open this thing up. So there's Char's Zaku 2, and he comes with some accessories. He does come with his Heat Hawk, and it is colored, which is really nice. We do have his gun, which is not colored, and the gun has the movable handle right there, so that we can hold it with both hands. This thing, the barrel, you can spin it because it is on a regular peg, but the scope does not move. Comes with 2 additional hands. He has a holy hand and a trigger finger hand. So there's that, and then he comes with a flight stand adapter. Okay, so let's check out the way that this guy moves. So, of course, you have his head that's on a ball joint, so he can move around. If we pop off the head of this guy, you can see that you can also move his eye around. You have his shield that's on a ball joint, so his shield can move around as well as these spikes right here. His arms are a little bit hindered, so he can't move up very much. It's hindered actually not by the weapons, but by the piece of armor right there. He does have the double joints at the elbow, but they do seem to stop. They seem to kind of stop short, and his wrists are on ball joints for his. So you could change out the hands. Let's see, there's a little bit of move at the waist, so he can do the hula. And these are rubbery hoses, so that way he can move around. That's pretty nice. Then you have the skirt is also on some hinges there, and the front ones are also on hinges, but this feels really hard. It feels like I'm gonna break it. The rear one is just on soft plastic. You can move the legs up and out, so you can do a kick. And then he has double knee joints, but they are hindered by the armor back there, so that is as far as you're gonna get for that. And then you have some ball joints at the ankles. So there he is right there. That is Char Zaku's articulation. Now, when we change out the hands, it's very simple. You just pop them off. They're just on nice, sturdy ball joints, which I don't really see on a lot of Bandai action figures like the SH Figure Arts. Those are really thin, and I always feel like I'm going to break them. And you really have to really stretch out his arm if you want him to hold the other side. So he ends up looking a bit awkward, and the handle does slip off pretty easily. So that's probably going to be the best that we're going to get with the gun if you want him to hold it with both hands. The gun does definitely fit really loose in his hands, but that is nothing new. That is definitely something that we get with the model kits as well, which we'll be taking a look at in a little bit. Let's see, and then we've got the Heat Hawk, so let's see how that works out. And that is actually quite nice. He has a nice handle on the Heat Hawk, so he has a nice grip on it, which is much more than I could say for the model kits. Those things can never hold on to the Heat Hawk correctly, but that's really nice. He's holding it very sturdy, so I really like that at least. The Heat Hawk also comes with a peg, so you can peg it onto his waist. Right here is a peg hole. So you can peg the Heat Hawk onto the side of his skirt or on the back of his skirt, and you can even peg the barrel onto the back of his skirt as well if you'd like. Also on the side. One thing I don't like about this figure is that he is very loosey-goosey, especially on the legs. They're really heavy. So, and I get it, they're using a lot of plastic, and then the other thing is that these are made from softer plastic, so they feel very rubbery, a lot like the Marvel Legends and all that Hasbro stuff that you see. It's just made from the same type of plastic, and I don't like that. The antenna, though, is made from a harder plastic, and you could pop it right off. But I feel like if you were to drop this guy and he hit head first, this thing's gonna break very easily. So I'm not a fan of that. So here he is with a bunch of Zaku 2 model kits, and he is definitely much taller than all of those. And if we bring in an RX-78 to Master Grade, yeah, he's definitely much lower. So there is no in-between for the model kits for this guy at all. So you can't really have him along with the rest of your kits unless you just want to have a Char display, and you can have all the different sizes. Let's see how well this Zaku will do on a flight stand along with his flight stand adapter. So you take him, you go up his skirt, and you plug in the adapter right there. So now he has a little weenie there. And we'll take one of our flight stands. We're going to try to peg that in somehow. And there he is on the flight stand. It's not too bad. Just my flight stand doesn't have a regular type of peg, so you can use one of these ones right here. So if I pop that out, just easily put them into a regular style flight stand, just like that. The only thing is that he is a bit heavy, so you can see him shaking around, and eventually that flight stand is going to it's gonna droop. So you can already feel all the tension. So he's so heavy that this thing is gonna droop as it goes, with time. So I definitely would recommend using one of the ones that people typically use, which would be the ones that are reinforced. So that would be these type of flight stands for something as heavy as this guy. So it's a little bit more sturdy when you have the little support down there. So now, can this guy do his Char kick? Well, that's the best I can do with the Char kick, and no, he can't. He's too heavy, and he doesn't have the right amount of articulation. And I feel like I'm going to be breaking this guy, so I'm just going to stop right there. Yeah, so it looks like these are just like pegs. It looks like the old poly caps where these things slip in, so... Oh, and there goes his hose. See, now he's falling apart. And for some reason, and he feels a whole lot looser than before. So these Gundam Universe figures run at about 25 bananas. That's quite a bit for a regular action figure. I totally get that that's the current price on these things, but let's just go back a little bit. Obviously, it's gonna be better than this $10 first grade right here. This is actually pretty old. This is from 1999. So, of course, he's falling apart. That's because he's, I had to sand him down and stuff. But anyway, he's definitely better than this 1999. Oh, and then his leg broke. So he's better than this guy right here. This is a $10 figure. And then here is a $13 Zaku 2, which has a lot more articulation than him already. He's much lighter, so you can actually get him to be on the flight stand better. And he can't do the Char kick. You can't have him do the Char kick, but he's definitely lighter, so you can get better poses off of this guy right here. And he was only $13. Plus, you get to build him, and you can add all the stuff onto him if you'd like. And that's him. Moving on to a $20 figure. This is the 2020 version of Char's Zaku, and he's definitely much more articulated. You can get him to do the Char kick for sure. So there he is. Of course, he's also much lighter than this guy right here. So this is a $20 kit here. Plus you get more accessories than just the Heat Hawk and the gun, which is all you get with the Gundam Universe. With the new $20 kit, you also get the Zaku bazooka, Bazaku, I guess. You'll get the gun, you get the Heat Hawk, you get an adapter as well. You get 4 additional hands. And on top of all that, you also get a rubber skirt, so you can put them in even more poses. You can make the kicks come out even further with the rubber skirt. And it doesn't look too bad when he's wearing it either. You also have extra detail on the hands, which he does not have that extra red on there, which I always thought was weird that it was always black, but he does have that. The hoses are in a rubbery type material. So now this here is a $20 model kit, and this is the Zaku 2 Origins version, and it has way more, just so much more detail than the Universe version. And it also comes with 2 extra hands. It comes with this really nice looking Zaku bazooka, and it has all the articulation on it. Again, this one doesn't even come with that. And then we have this awesome gun. I really like this gun. It's not the typical Zaku gun, but it is really super cool. And of course, it does come with the Heat Hawk. So that's a $20 figure right there for the Zaku 2. And here we are at the same price range figures. This one is $5 more. This is the real grade Zaku 2, and he is much lighter, much more pink, but he does have the same kind of maroon on there, but he has so much more detail. Look at it. That's not paint, that is actual plastic. That's actual plastic. That one is painted. These hoses here, this is a spring with these little beads on it, which were not fun to build, but it was still, they look really nice. He does come with his Heat Hawk. He comes with the Zaku machine gun, which does have the full articulation on the scope, or on the camera, and on the handle, so you can do both. And then there's the Zaku bazooka, which again is articulated on both ends. He has the 2 hands, these are both fists, and he has a flight stand adapter. His hands are also all these fingers are together. You have the trigger finger there, which is articulated, and you have his thumb, which is also articulated, and that would be for both hands. He also comes with, you can open up the little door on his chest right there, so you can put the pilot right in there. There's a little pilot's chair. And speaking of a pilot, it does come with an itty bitty Char pilot that's right there. That's an extra bead that fell off the runner, but yeah, there it comes with a pilot even, and you can see, and he also has a clear plastic window for his eye, which can also be moved the same way, where you pop off the head and you move the eye. So actually, no, you can't. With this one, you move the head and his eye moves. Let's try to get a better look at that. So if you move the head, see the eye is all the way over. It's a little bit hard with the glare, and then his eye moved to that side. So It is really, really neat. The shield has definitely much more range of articulation on it. Same as the skirt, but if we look at the leg right here, you have some armor separation when you bend the leg, and also when you move the bicep. So for $5 more, you can get a real grade Zaku 2, and you get to build it, and it has different plastics, so you have so much more detail than you do with this version. I understand that this is the anime version, but look at that. Look at all that armor separation when he moves. It's just so cool. I just can't get enough of. Every time I mess around with this thing, I find something new that he can do. So for $5 more, for $5, you can pick up a real grade Zaku 2, which is smaller, it's more pink, but it is much more superior to this guy right here. So at the end of the day, how does the Gundam Universe Char's Zaku 2 stand up? Well, it's okay. One thing that I do like about the model kits, as opposed to an action figure, is that with an action figure, you'll just pick them up, you'll take it home, and throw it in the pile or display them or whatever. But with a model kit, you're gonna sit down, you're gonna build it, you're gonna get to learn the figure, and you're making it. So you have more of an attachment to the model kit than you would with something like an action figure. Now, I'm not saying that I absolutely hate action figures now and I'm all about model kits. But when it comes to this right here, this weird anomaly where we have the model kits, and the model kits have been just a staple of Gundam since 1980. So for 40 years, the model kits have been around. And all of a sudden now we have action figures. It's just kind of weird, and I don't really know what I was expecting. I understand that not everybody wants to build a model kit, but I feel much more of an attachment to my kits than I do with this figure, so I don't think I'm going to be picking up any more of these figures. They're overpriced, the plastic seems a bit cheap, especially compared to what you get with the model kits. I was actually really surprised that it had the Tamashii Nations sticker on there. Tamashii Nations is known for their Dragon Ball and, you know, all the other SH figure art stuff, which is top-notch quality. So I found that to be very weird that this is also from Tamashii Nations, but it just, I didn't really care much for this figure, but I guess if you're someone that likes Gundam but don't want to build the kits, you know, and you're good with just collecting these things, you think they look cool, yeah, sure, why not? Go pick it up. It is going to cost you $25. Then again, I did just see a Spider-Man with 2 accessories, his hands, for $27, so almost $30. At least in the States it'd be $30 because of the tax. So yeah, it just seems like that's just the way everything seems to be going. But the model kits, yeah, they don't cost as much, and I think I'm going to keep going in that direction.